Okay, Seth. So, I'm glad you came back.
Thank you.
And we're talking about freedom from emotional eating.
Right.
And last time I mentioned that you want within a week's time to start working out.
Right.
And how working out would be one of the ways that you know that you're starting to feel good about yourself, and that when you feel good about yourself, it's easy for you to diet.
Right.
Okay. And I understand that there's been some progress there.
Yeah, today I did the treadmill.
Great. How'd that feel?
Great. 30 minutes, music on the phone. Great.
Great. And I can see the smile on your face.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. Great. Okay. And so freedom from emotional eating means that as long as I am not free of emotional eating, that means we all have emotions and they come up, right? They can be happy emotions, they can be uncomfortable emotions, sadness, fear, anger.
Right.
So if I'm eating because of my emotions, that means my emotions are directing my eating.
Right.
But really what it means is that, so that's fine. But let's say I don't want that. Like I want to eat because I'm hungry, not because I'm eating my emotions. So if I don't want to eat my emotions, but I am eating my emotions.
Right.
So basically what's happening is that instead of me controlling my emotions are controlling me. Right. So basically I become a slave, or I am a slave,
Right.
to these emotions. And these emotions are so strong,
Right.
that they create, these cravings,
Right.
right? And cravings that
Right.
I want to eat.
I have a concrete example.
Okay, go ahead.
Today, after my whatever I did today, I was thinking of going to the mall and having ice cream. Craving something sweet. I called my wife and she said no. Then I said to myself, shouldn't I? I said to myself, it's not worth it. I'm not going. I'm just going to go home and do the treadmill and eat afterwards.
Exactly that. And so what you're saying is that you starting to become free of emotional eating.
Yes.
Is recognizing is that I am hungry. I have a food craving, but it has nothing to do with food.
Right.
It has to do with something else.
Right.
And you just mentioned to me, that you were feeling a little nervous.
Anxious, yeah.
Anxious,
Right.
okay? And so what I'd like to demonstrate now to you is that a lot of times when I feel nervous, anxious, or you do, or other people, so then our natural reaction is to eat something.
Right.
And we know that when we eat something, we're going to feel good.
Right.
And why there's a connection between feeling good and eating something,
Right.
we'll talk about maybe a little later. So,
when I'm anxious, I don't want to eat.
Uh-huh.
And I'm nervous, I don't want to eat.
Right.
I would like to take something to relax, whether it's tea, a mint candy, something
Right.
to calm me
Right.
down.
And notice it's very interesting, is that by you and by me, by many people, that when I want to relax, I want to put something into my mouth.
Uh-huh.
So that's very interesting. Like, how did we learn how to do that?
Uh-huh.
How do we learn that we take, I want to relax, I put something into my mouth? So right now, just for a moment, think about this for a second. Did you ever in high school go to a class that you didn't like?
Of course.
Of course. Okay? So you're sitting in a class that you don't like.
Right.
I mean, you really don't like this class.
No.
Okay? No. Okay? So if you're sitting in a class that you don't like, there's only one really good thing about that class.
Which is?
That it's going to end.
Right.
That's the only thing that's good about it.
Right.
Okay, fine. What if you're sitting in a class that you don't like, but it's never going to end? What would you feel?
Horrible.
Horrible.
Devastated.
Devastated. It's just never going to end.
It's never going to end.
Okay. Now, imagine for a second. You're a baby. Young baby. You just came into this world. You don't have an intellectual understanding of what's going on. You don't understand you just sort of like feel and sense certain things. And now your body is wet, or your body is hot, or your body is constricted, or there's something happening in your stomach, and you can't say you're hungry because you can't talk, and you can't even think that way, but you know something is wrong.
Right.
But not only do you know something is wrong, so your mother, father comes and says, "Don't worry, I'll be back in a few minutes with a bottle."
Right.
But the baby doesn't know what a few minutes is.
Exactly. Baby has no concept of time.
So the baby, a few minutes, there's no difference between a few minutes and a million years.
Right.
And so now the baby is feeling just what you were feeling in that class. Devastated, horrible, maybe even hysterical. Because not only is something missing, right?
Right.
But also, it doesn't know that is there going to be any end to this? Maybe there'll never be no end to this. It has no concept of time.
Right.
It's just an endless need. Now imagine what happened to me, happened to you, happens to everyone. Suddenly the baby feels something in its mouth.
Right.
And what do you think the baby feels when something goes into its mouth?
Content, happy.
Content, happy, and possibly it also relaxes.
Relaxes. I see.
And then from a very early age, we learn there's a connection between relaxing and putting something into our mouth. We'll call it anchoring. So a lot of times when we want to put something into our mouth, it's because we want to relax.
So we're trained to think that if you put something in your mouth, you'll relax.
You're right. The word training is a good word. We can also use the word we're conditioned. And this repeats itself time and again and again.
Right.
That if something goes into our mouths,
Right.
I can relax.
Right.
That's why a lot of times some of our food cravings have nothing to do with hunger. They have to do with relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to pause for a moment.
All right.